Data, it's everywhere,
Yeah.
right? We talk about it like it's this pure objective thing.
Right.
But what if the way we look at data is actually missing crucial pieces of the puzzle?
I like that. Like we're only seeing part of the picture.
Exactly. And that's what got me thinking about this whole gender-decoded thing in this podcast snippet you sent over.
Yeah, it's a fascinating concept. You ready to decode it? Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going deep, diving into something that really makes you think. Crime statistics, but
Yeah.
not just the surface level stuff. We're talking about how gender changes everything.
It's about seeing those patterns that often fly under the radar, the ones that really challenge what we think we know about staying safe and who's really at risk.
You hit the nail on the head. The research we're looking at today, it's got some real head scratchers. Like, we always hear about how slow crime resolution times are.
Right.
But get this, turns out those times are way faster when the victim is male. Really got me thinking.
Yeah, it makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just wonder if there's something else going on, maybe some unconscious bias in the system. Like, do cases with male victims just get more attention, higher priority? Does how society sees men, that whole tough guy thing, does that factor in? A lot to unpack there.
It really is. And speaking of eye-openers, the data's got a lot to say about where crime happens, too. Seems women are more likely to be victims in residential areas, but for men, it's out in public, on transit, that kind of thing.
Now, that is interesting. That difference in location, it's not just about geography, is it? It makes you think about how we plan our cities, how safe different spaces feel for men versus women. Even how we prevent crime, those strategies might need a rethink depending on where it's happening, who it's happening to.
Like we're seeing a whole new map of our own neighborhoods, hidden in plain sight.
Exactly.
Okay, ready for another layer. Age. The data shows that younger women and older men, they're the most vulnerable, but probably not for the reasons you think.
It's true. It's not as simple as young equals vulnerable, is it? It's about the risks that come with different stages of life, how society treats you at different ages. Like, a young woman might be more vulnerable to certain types of violence, exploitation even. But for older men, it's a whole other ballgame, different reasons altogether.
Right. It's not just numbers on a page, it's people's lives.
Absolutely. Recognizing that is key to creating safety measures that actually work, support systems that are actually effective.
Couldn't agree more. Now, let's dig into the types of crime being reported. The data shows a clear difference there, too. Seems men are more likely to be victims in public settings, think workplaces, that sort of thing. But women, it's more often in private, interpersonal situations.
And that likely goes back to those traditional gender roles, how they play out in everyday life. Statistically speaking, men are more likely to be in those physically demanding jobs, higher risk occupations. And sadly, women, they're still facing a much higher risk when it comes to domestic violence.
It really highlights how much those societal structures, those roles, actually impact our lives. And it makes you wonder, as those roles change, will these patterns change too?
$1 million question. As we move toward more equality, it'll be fascinating to watch those crime trends, see if they shift as well.
Absolutely. Okay, one last point from the data that really jumped out at me, the time of day when crimes occur. Turns out women are actually more vulnerable during the day. But for men, it's pretty consistent throughout the day and night. Really challenges that idea that women should be extra careful after dark.
It definitely challenges that assumption. Shows that women need to be just as aware, just as safety conscious during the day as they are at night. What's causing this pattern? How can we create environments where women feel safe no matter what time it is? Big questions.
So where does this leave us? We've covered a lot, but one thing's for sure. Gender, it completely changes how we understand crime.
It's not just about the overall numbers, it's about the nuances, the ways that gender intersects with risk, vulnerability, even the very definition of crime itself. And if we want to prevent it, if we want to truly support victims, we have to understand those differences.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So as you go about your day, think about how this new understanding of gender and crime might change your own decisions, how you act in your community, even the policies that shape our world. Next week, we're back at it. And let me tell you, get ready for a wild ride. I'm talking a deep dive into a topic so fascinating.
Well, let's just say fasten your seatbelt.
I, for one, am on the edge of my seat already. The anticipation is killing me. It's like opening the first page of a captivating novel. Where will the story take us? What mysteries will we unravel?
Now you got it. So until next time, keep those brains buzzing, keep those questions coming, and as always,
Happy exploring.
and a huge thank you from both of us for being part of the journey.